And hello everyone, welcome to this edition of Nowhere Videos Meat and Potatoes, the program that shows you easy recipes for great food. My name is Todd Hilton, and in this edition, this is going to be our last regular cooking show for our premiere season of Meat and Potatoes. And we're going to be making for you what Mark and I call a Breakfast Blitz. We're both going to be presenting you some recipes. I'm going to make a couple, and Mark's going to make our main course, I guess you could call it. And mine is going to consist of two. First, I'm going to make French toast, which is a family favorite. It's been around for many years. And also to go with that, actually go on top of it, I'm going to make a cinnamon syrup, which is very good. So, without any further ado, let's get started. All right, first of all, I'm going to start out by making our French toast. First, you're going to start out with, get your bowl here, and you're going to start out with 2 eggs. Pardon my mess here. And I'm going to go ahead and crack those into a bowl here. Again, this is a very easy recipe that I've actually made it for breakfast and dinner. I've probably made it for dinner more times than breakfast, believe it or not. Get those beat up, and you just beat those together. Okay. All right, next thing, gonna get your milk, and we need a cup of that. Okay, that goes in there. And actually, everything all gets mixed into this bowl. Do that, and you want a little bit of salt. Just not too much. That'll be good there. And now we're going to need our measuring spoons here. Okay. Now we want to do 1 tablespoon of sugar. Got our sugar. Measurements on these, you know, by the book, they're regular measurements, but you know, they don't have to be precise. Now we want 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, or vanilla flavoring, which is actually what I have. I don't know if any of you have actually shopped for vanilla extract, but there's the imitation stuff, which is what I'm using, and then there's the real stuff. The real stuff will cost you about 20 bucks. I'm sorry, but that's just not cost effective in my eyes there. The imitation stuff works just as good. I'm sure it tastes the same, and most people probably can't tell the difference. So we use the imitation stuff. Okay, so we got that in there. Got that in there. Sorry, I gotta throw a little humor in there while we're cooking. The recipe that I'm following actually gives you the option of using either the vanilla or ground cinnamon. I like to use both because I like flavor, and it works out good. So I actually use, well, you could say it's about a teaspoon worth, but we're just going to guess. Just put some of that in there. It's roughly a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Okay, that actually brings us down to the last ingredient for your batter, which is butter. You've got your butter for your batter, which makes it better. Thank you, Mark. So, we're going to take approximately 1 tablespoon, and actually I'm going to reuse my container here. This stuff has actually been sitting out on the counter for a little while, and it's a pretty warm day today, so that's already pretty well softened, but we want it as much of liquid as possible so it mixes into the batter. This is actually the margarine, but Use butter or margarine, will work either way. Okay, go ahead and stir that in. And now you have a completed batter. We are ready for bread. All right, we got our grill warmed up here. I've got it set at a scorching 300 degrees. And got our batter here. I happen to have exactly 8 slices of bread. I do have 2 crusts there, but as I said, that was the original recipe was a way to use up bread like that. And you know, why not? Because once you got batter on it, you put it on the grill, cook it up, put syrup on it, you're good to go. So, all right, take your batter and start dipping. I usually do this one-handed here. And you want to just basically flip it over a couple times, not to the point where it starts falling apart, but enough to where it's soaked in the batter. Now the crust pieces, they'll obviously hold up a lot better, but you get your mid-slice pieces like this, and they'll only take to like a single flip, and then they'll start falling apart on you. So I want to make sure you get those on the grill very quickly. Okay. Doesn't take a whole lot of time for those to cook. You are going to want to flip them at least once while they're cooking there. Got my spatula ready to go. Got that first one flipped there. Starting to look pretty good. Again, I may actually flip these a couple of times. Try to keep them from getting burnt. All right, we're ready to get these off the grill here. Sometimes it's almost easier to slide them off the grill onto the plate than it is to try to pick them up. All right, we're ready to start the cinnamon syrup. We've got a saucepan ready to go here. And we're going to start out with the first 3 ingredients. I'm going to start out with an entire cup of sugar. As I warned you, this recipe is rich. I'm just going to go ahead and do that right over the, you know what? How about we just open the other end, dummy? There we go. All right. 1 cup of sugar, give or take. Close enough. Okay. And we're gonna want half a cup of corn syrup. I've got the Carol's Light corn syrup. So we're going to get half a cup of that. Okay. And that goes in. Boy, isn't that like putting sugar in sugar? I don't know. But as I said, it's very rich, but very good. Okay, and last for that, you're going to want to put 1/4 cup of water. Let's get some water in there. That goes in. Okay, now this disgusting mess you've got here in the pan, you're going to want to bring to a boil on a medium heat. Okay, now I'm going to stir this for 2 minutes approximately. And the idea is this should start to thicken up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. And it actually says to remove it from the heat. Okay, so I'm going to take it off there, and I'm going to get ready to put the next ingredients in, which actually the next one to go in is going to be your evaporated milk. Evaporated milk is kind of a funny substance here. It's kind of yellowish here. Okay. Yeah, stuff kind of cleared up now, but that's going to go in. All right. Never mind what that looks like. I promise it'll taste better than it looks. Okay. So that is that. Okay. Go ahead and give that a stir. Okay, next thing to go in is vanilla. Yeah, make sure you keep the vanilla out because you're going to need it. Okay, and it's a teaspoon of vanilla. Seems like no matter what you use vanilla in, it's always 1 teaspoon. Well, yeah, just get a little splash there. Okay, and takes care of that. And last but not least, you've got your ground cinnamon, which of course, you know, that's how you end up with your cinnamon syrup, is your cinnamon. Wow, imagine that. Okay. Calls for half a teaspoon. I'm just gonna, about like the French toast, I'm just gonna put some in there. That should be good. Little goes a long ways. Again, sometimes I use a little more than it calls for because I like a lot of flavor. And this is going to go great with that French toast. Okay. Bring this forward here so you can see it a little better. All right, folks, and there you have it. French toast and cinnamon syrup. All right, that is going to do it for the first half of our Nora Videos Meat and Potatoes Breakfast Blitz. Hope you enjoyed our recipes for French toast and cinnamon syrup. And with that, I'm going to turn the show over to the other half of the Meat and Potatoes team, Mr. Mark Johnson.
Well, thank you, Todd, and welcome back to Nora Videos Meat and Potatoes Breakfast Blitz. I'm Mark Johnson, coming to you for the second half of this wonderful breakfast show that we're bringing you. And I'm going to make what I'm going to call a breakfast hash brown potatoes, sausage, cheese, and I'm going to throw in a can of Rotel diced tomatoes and chilies just to give it a little pep, not to mention a little color. So anyway, come on back and I'll show you how to make that. Alright, first thing you're going to need to do is crack a few eggs. As my mama used to say, you can't make an omelet without cracking a few eggs. Anyway, we got a dozen eggs, we're going to use them all. This brings back really bad memories of about a week and a half ago when I had to do this every morning for a week, working in the kitchen where I work. And but actually, you know, it actually was kind of fun. I kind of enjoyed it, and gives you a little, breaks up the monotony of an otherwise, you know, routine day, and you learn something too. And this is what I learned when making eggs: a little lemon juice in your eggs, and that doesn't take a whole lot, but you know, it depends on how many you're making. We were making 30 of them at a time, so it took a little bit more. But will keep your eggs from actually turning green, hence green eggs and ham. Folks, all we got in here right now is just raw eggs, but it is going to turn into something really yummy. And my sister-in-law actually makes this when we go down to visit down in Arizona once in a while, and I love it. I'm making a little bit different variation of it, I don't think she uses like Rotel like I'm using in mine, but check this out for pieces of shell here. So then you're going to take a little bit of milk, usually about a tablespoon per egg, but I don't really go by that. I just kind of, yeah, that looks about right. And then I put a little lemon juice in there. Like I said, we'll keep our eggs from turning green. Put just about that much in. Doesn't take a lot unless you're doing a whole lot of eggs like we were. And then we're just going to get the whisk in there. Get those. Get those mixed up really good. Make sure you got all your yolks broken and mixed in there good. Okay, that's the easy part of it. The beating the eggs. That's the easy part. With any luck, if any chunks of shell are in there, you'll be able to get them out pretty easily. Alright, well, I just discovered that the sausage that I bought was not pre-cooked, so we're going to have to cook it up in a skillet before we add it to our dish. So it'll take a little bit longer than what I originally anticipated, but that's okay. Let me get the fork out here. Just, and there's like, I want to say 12 pieces in here, and we're going to use every one of them in this dish. Pull it out, more magically appear. I find that link sausage will actually work better in this recipe than your patties. I suppose you could use ground sausage if you wanted, but again, you got to cook it, and just like you're doing with this. Or the other thing is, if you can get them, which you can get them in the store everywhere, is get the pre-cooked, fully cooked sausages, and then all you have to do is just defrost them, basically. Then you can put them into your egg mixture, and they'll actually cook with the rest of your egg mixture. I'm going to take my Rotel and going to open that up, and I'm going to drain a majority of the juice out of here, just so our eggs don't get really runny. I'm just going to plop that in there. Yum. And rinse our fork off here. Let's give that a stir with the fork. Like I said, that'll give it, not only will it add to the flavor of your creation, but it'll add to the color of it too. Okay, so now I'm going to open up my taters here, and what I'm using is Potatoes O'Brien, Safeway brand, and it's got potatoes with onions and peppers in it. And I was actually going to pick up a bag of the frozen chopped onions, because I like to cheat, but when I saw that this had onions and peppers in it, I said, that should be enough, so we don't want to overpower it. Anyway, probably need to get a strainer from up here, and because they're not completely thawed, I'm going to throw them through a strainer and thaw them out a little bit more. And so we're gonna bring these over here and we'll just dump those into the strainer. They've been sitting out so they're not totally frozen. Just run a little bit of hot water over them now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just put these into my pan. Take some non-stick spray just so this stuff will come out of the pan a little bit easier once we're done. Okay. And like I say, I'm going to go ahead and put my taters in there first. Just kind of spread your taters out. Man, that sausage is smelling good. Oh man. I love the smell of freshly cooked sausage. Anytime, day or night, doesn't matter. Let me at it. Preheat your oven to 350 and while your sausage is cooking and everything. Saves a little bit of time that way. And while that's continuing to cook, I think what I'm going to do, I like my stuff a little spicier, so I got finely shredded taco cheese. It's like 4 cheese. It's a 4 cheese blend. And there's about 2 cups in here. I've actually never made this before. It's always been my sister-in-law, and it's always been ready to go when I woke up. So, sleep in a lot, So I actually never watched her make this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to sprinkle some cheese right on top of our potatoes. Because I like a lot of cheese, and if you like a lot of cheese, then by all means, this is the way to do it. Sorry. Bring this over here a little bit. You don't want to use all your cheese on this layer because you're going to want some for the layer after this, which will be your eggs and your sausage. So, pan and all, I'm just going to bring it over here. We're going to start and I leave them whole. Some people will actually chop them up before they go in there. I don't. I leave them whole because when you cut into it, you'll cut the sausage up anyway, so it doesn't really, it's like why go that extra step? And probably get one more there on the end. Okay, now it's time to pour our egg mixture over this. So, set that there like that. And I'm going to switch hands here so Todd can get this on camera a little bit better. Just kind of try and pour it evenly. So that's ready to go into the oven. Oh, wait. More cheese. Because if I know Todd like I think I do, Todd likes cheese like I like cheese. The more cheese, the better. So, gotta make those little noises while you're doing this, otherwise it's no fun. Alright, so it's ready to go into the oven. So we're gonna put that in there, and that's gonna have to be in there for about an hour, and we'll check it periodically. We'll check it probably after about a half hour, see what kind of consistency we've got on our eggs after about a half hour, just to see where it's at, how it's coming along. And through the magic of television, probably the next time you see this, it'll be done. So we're going to take a break while that's cooking, and we'll be back. Well, folks, through the magic of television, it's been about an hour, and it's ready. I just checked it, and it's ready to come out of the oven. Oh, it smells heavenly. Can't wait to taste this. This is going to be wonderful. Oh, look at that melted cheese on top. Oh, doesn't that look absolutely delicious? That is just breakfast perfection, folks. Well, that's our recipe for breakfast bake and French toast with cinnamon syrup. I want to thank you for joining us for this Breakfast Blitz, and be sure to come back. We'll have a end of season review where we're going to show you all the recipes that we have done over the first season, and some of our goof ups that you didn't actually see on the shows themselves. So I'm going to have some of this, and hey, come back here. She took my food. Okay, that's it. I've had it. For Nowhere Videos, Meat and Potatoes, I'm Mark Johnson. On behalf of Todd Hilton, saying good taters, good meat, good eggs, good French toast, good grief, let's eat!